Entire Nigerian people owe this man on the screen exactly what I'm going to do now. We owe him gratitude, we owe him prayers. But only the people that acknowledge the help that this man has contributed to the entire Nigerian people. You know, the voices that he was raising, he was trying to protect only the eastern communities, but the voice were loud enough to be a warning to the entire Nigerian people, but nobody paid attention. I'm going to say my prayer from the bottom of my heart. Only God knows exactly how I'm feeling right now. I don't have my shades on because there's no need for it. Say prayers for him in the comment section. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, may your days be long on this earth. May your heart desires be granted. Wherever you go shall be full of success. Your family and your descendants shall be blessed. Whatever it is that is your heart desire that you have been fighting for a long time, it shall be granted. Your enemies shall fall before you meet them. Your obstacles shall divert away before you come. Anybody that rises against you will fall before you notice it. Whatever you place your hands shall be blessed. Wherever you go shall be full of blessings. Any household you visit shall acknowledge that the king was born and a king visited the vicinity. Whatever you place your hands shall be successful. Your children and your children's children shall inherit the blessings that come from you, and it shall not come to an end.
Do not carry it too far. The Nnamdi Kanu question is very dear to our people. That's why I met him and we fixed an appointment. He said, bring the leaders. I brought the leaders of Southeast. Late Chukwemeka Ezife, Mbazulika Mechi, Bishop Onoha, Godio Wazulika of Aki Kenga, he was the president, and myself. And we went and discussed. That was how these leaders were given access to Nnamdi Kanu. And I prodded him to release Nnamdi Kanu, because it's a political solution that is needed there.
You think he failed in that regard?
Well, he didn't do it, but he said that it was a difficult request because the matter is in the judiciary. But if the matter is in the judiciary, there's what the Constitution have said. As president, you can go under prerogative of mercy and apply it. You can ask the Attorney General to do a nolle prosequi. Okay. These are things that are right. And now the Kenyan court has said that even the repatriation is illegal. So I'm calling on President Bola Tinubu to exercise his rights as per the Constitution and solve that matter. We are leaders in the Southeast. We can guarantee him. We can take Nnamdi Kanu on guarantorship so that he can be released, so that our people will now have peace. So that when anybody is doing ESN or doing IPOB of closed down on Monday, closed down on court day, we would then know that that person is a bandit. That what he's doing is banditry, terrorism, or even robbery.
If you were unable to convince President Buhari, who was your close friend,
and
with whom you worked for 8 years, how do you think you'd be able to convince
Bola Tinubu, president, is also my friend. We have come a long way. We've come a long way from AC. In fact, from 2003, when I was governor. I had known him when he was a senator.
And you're still close till this moment?
I'm friend, but I'm not a part of the government. So.
Today, 18th of July, is the day that the case of Nnamdi Kanu is going to resume, the leader of IPOB. And all eyes is now on Justice Omotoso to do the justice to what is on ground, based on what we are hearing before the case at Kenya, and even so many things that has been unfolded across the world. What are your expectations today, Mercy?
Victory like has been expected for the IPOB leader, the Hamadike one of Igbo land, and the man who, of the moment, the man who has taken another direction when Nigeria was going another direction. And to the success of God, and to the success of humanity, and to the glory of the one who crowned him. He's appearing in court today, and you can see him walking majestically as usual, with his deep smile, signaling that, I'm here again, I'm ready for the day activities. A lot of leaders around the world has predicted that today Nnamdi Kanu will be set free. Our motor will point to a particular direction because the defense team is going to be open. The federal government has signaled that they are no longer interested in that case. And the question now that since most of the charges that was labeled or raised against Nnamdi Kanu has been repealed by time over time, and most of those charges are no longer relevant and cannot meet the standard of things on ground now. I think to an extent we're expecting that the motor should just grant him bail and ask him to leave and go and continue with his life, as simple as that. Because Nnamdi Kanu has become a top celebrity now all over the world. Giving wealth has transpired. Is not what we mention here anyway. Within the week, and we saw some of those things, pointing towards Nnamdi Kanu. And the greatest surprise of many is that Nnamdi Kanu has rejected further negotiations with federal government over his stand on what he believes in and his convictions, and knowing fully well that he was right in all ramifications, and the whole thing is pointing towards him too. But there's something we must take from Justice Omotosho presiding over Nnamdi Kanu's case today. If you watch the development now in the court, you see there are a lot of lawyers from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, mostly from West Africa, and some of them from East Africa, Namibia, and all that are already here now. So the court, his legal team is already just fortified, and we are watching what is going to come up now, because it's going to be a minor one, and we're expecting that Justice Omotosho, if he's not under pressure or under any certain influence now, I think we are expecting the needful to be done. The U.S. Congress, the U.S. senators has already sent their delegates here. You can see some people from Israel. You can see, yes, we reported something like, this morning here, that some people came from Norway too, and Sweden. I don't know why Nnamdi Kanu is getting some of these contacts, but I can tell you the German team has also arrived, and we saw the one that the people that just came from Spain, that recently IPOB opened their command headquarters in Germany and held a global meeting in Spain about a few days ago. These are the Spanish. They all send their representatives to Nigeria to be part of, to show solidarity that the whole world is backing, is supporting Nnamdi Kanu.
It is obvious that what actually kept Nnamdi Kanu in that place may not be a legal issue. It may be an interest, which everybody know. Part of interest was that was a Fulani oligarchy, and the arrowhead of this oligarchy just went home. I'm talking about our former President Muhammadu Buhari. How do you think the death of President Muhammadu Buhari will tell on the justice that you are going to witness today?
Of course, you don't know the kind of confidence and some of the information they are trying to obtain from Nnamdi Kanu, which he has concealed to himself until he met the relevant authorities, because we learned that the British government and the US government are also waiting for him and are signaling for a secret meeting with Nnamdi Kanu so that they can be able to obtain certain information relating to double boarding of Buhari anyway. Let me just put it that way. But there was something Deji Adeyunju, a top Nigerian activist. Let me use it.
A lawyer as well.
Yes, Adeyunju is not. I think he's a lawyer to a very dark man, or so whatever. I can see they are in the same circle. Or let me just put it that way. And he said something that Buhari disclosed privately to most of them that that they didn't want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to continue the message. How would I put it? To continue the exposing the activities of Fulanis in Nigeria and around the world, and that was why the reason why they actually went after him, not minding whether they are going to contravene treaties, and unfortunately they didn't know whether it was a deliberate trap on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to cut them off completely, because the Fulanis has eaten deep politically and socially within the Nigerian space, carrying out a hidden agenda of conquest. And we continue to say it again repeatedly. Say it was just when Buhari actually came in and we saw some of these things being played out. But Nnamdi Kanu was able to resist Buhari, and Buhari was not happy that a boy, somebody like Nnamdi Kanu, he didn't foresee Nnamdi Kanu coming, and then Nnamdi Kanu is here, and that is what you saw happening. Nnamdi Kanu is a British-trained political activist. That we must not underrate him on that. He studied international relations and understand what the law is talking about. And Nnamdi Kanu, to an extent, is highly fortified and knowledgeable of what he intends to do with Nigeria. And I think, to an extent, he has achieved over 70% success in his campaign to bring the world solidarity to the issue of Biafra.
Buba Galadima, one of the followers of Muhammadu Buhari and one of the top-notch politicians from the north, just came out and revealed just a tips of what make them to bring Buhari into politics, and it's also buttress all what Nnamdi Kanu have been saying, that there is a conquest agenda. What do you have to say about this? Because you know what I'm talking about.
Even outside, before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was able to find his way to the courtroom, there's a mammoth crowd, massive crowd. The Hausa youths are there, the Yoruba youths are there, the Ijo youths are there, the Igbo youths are there. Everybody is outside the court now. There's so much crowd. The DSS is having a very, very, headlong, a long day to curtail the crowd, because everybody want to touch Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everyone does want to have a glimpse of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is how popular Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become. And I can tell you that if you look at when these things are coming, and they undirected it, but he continued. Because he was sure of what he was doing. He was sure that he's going to get Biafra. He was sure the world will back him up. It was sure that it is just a matter of time. Most of the things will be revealed, and people will come to solidarity with him, and like what we are seeing in the court today. So if somebody like these people, when you listen to Erufai and listen to likes of Buba Galadima saying such thing, that they only brought Buhari to accomplish Islamic agenda, Islamization agenda in Nigeria, Fulanization agenda in Nigeria, because they find out that the core Fulani leaders are losing it gradually. Immediately, Obasanjo came to power, and from there, Jonathan came, Yanadua died, another, so they saw it as they needed to do something extraordinary. But unfortunately, they found out that they can only achieve that by making sure that they resist and stop to an extent of anything that has to do with Yoruba, regaining consciousness in advancing their own rejection of extremism in Yoruba land. So they quickly acted, and they said when they were meeting, I think, let me quote him, Buba Galadima, in respect to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just sorry that we need to digress a little bit, but I just want to give you an insight what has transpired to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing today. They looked around and there was nobody who can do that job. The northern Fulani leaders now went to Buhari and said, this is what we want you to do, and that is what you are going to do. And he agreed. And because maybe possibly to him to have been looking for a way to find his way and make sure that this thing does not stand, because I think he's the life patron of all the Fulanis in the world, around the world. But he's their life patron. He controls, his structures stretches down to Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Nnamdi, Sudan, Nigeria. I'll tell you how vast his structures are. So they believe that, and to an extent, if there was no resistance, Buhari would have achieved that. But I can tell you, Madam Nnamdi Kanu became an obstacle, and that was why he went for him. So what Baba Gadima was saying is that the agenda was not to provide leadership. The agenda was to stop Yorubas from regaining consciousness over the presence of Islamization agenda. And that would have triggered another thing, and that was why they brought back. So that gives you an insight that when people are saying Fulani, when people are saying Muslim ticket, the fear of Nigeria falling into extremism, jihadists, and conquest and political conquest of the Fulanis was real.
There are some controversial words from Nnamdi Kanu. If they can trace this to video, and during some of the conversation during the answers, do you think those words are meant to destabilize this country so that the Biafra can go, or to just make sure that Fulani and Yoruba relationship, that something just happened so that the attention will be shifted to
yes,
this
if you look at what
Nnamdi
Nnamdi is represented in the court, Nnamdi is representing an ideology. Nnamdi is representing Christians in Nigeria. Nnamdi is representing a marginalization and jihadist movement, resistance within Nigeria and Africa. I can always tell you that in Nigeria, what we have is Nigerian Muslims and Christian Biafrans. No matter how you look at it, and you know what it means by Christians. In Nigeria, even if you're a Yoruba man, you're a Christian, you can be factored into, the Biafran religious circle. Let me just put it that way. But if you're a Yoruba man and you're a Muslim in Nigeria, you can be factored into Muslim religious circle. Because you can see the struggle when the Sultan of Sokoto said, the Yoruba must bow, and there was this resistance to that. If I can remember
that we must establish a Sharia in the southwest.
Yes. So I don't want to actually dive into that. So understanding from that angle first, that what Nnamdi Kanu was saying, it was just possibly drawing attention to our. It's a matter of consciousness. When you regain your consciousness, just like somebody who is lying there pretending to be sleeping, and while you are not sleeping. So it needed an extra force to wake you up. Tap you. You see, it's just like you want to revive somebody. And look at it now. And for you to try to pedal the movement, the motion, you have to put a lot of strength. Just like somebody who wants to drive a bicycle, or even a plane that wants to take off. If you have been to the airport and you want to see a plane take off, it's not easy. There's a lot of pressure. Yes, a sort of struggle, and that was what was happening within that period. And if you look at it now, the outside youths are also celebrating Nnamdi Kanu for giving them, because we needed somebody to say, oh yeah, if somebody like Traore in Burkina Faso did not come up and say enough is enough, the people wouldn't have aligned. And even those who have such reservation wouldn't have seen nothing to hold on to. So that was what happened. And fortunately, I can tell you to an extent, it added an impact on the consciousness of Nigeria. And that was what we saw in 2023 election.
Where today, Nigeria will have to prove itself whether it wants to be seen as a better country or as a country that doesn't respect human rights and where justice cannot reign. The ball is in their courts today to decide, and the whole world is watching. America, Finland, everywhere they are waiting for what is going to become, the fate of Nnamdi Kanu today. So please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, and press the notification button.
I will give you updates, final update, whether Justice Omotosho is going to adjourn the case or not. But we are expecting that the matter will be rested today, and the judgment should be the next thing to follow.
Thank you very much.